The Long Haul Podcast, America's Irish voice. Interviews with inspiring immigrants, renowned Irish personalities, and discussions on all things Irish America. Presented by Michael Dorgan and Johnny Kennedy.
Graham Geraghty scored an almost impossible point a little earlier in the game, and this time he hits it again, and this time he replicates the action. So Joe McDonough, GA President, presents Sam Maguire to Graham Geraghty, and Meath are the football champions. Sam goes down the road to the Royal County.
In our first podcast of 2022, we interview Meath football legend Graham Geraghty. One of the greatest players of his generation, Geraghty won 3 Leinster football titles and 2 All-Irelands, including a victory in 1999 where he captained the Royal County to a famous win over Cork. Geraghty also won All-Ireland honours at minor and under-21 level and also represented Ireland in the International Rules Series versus Australia. The sharpshooting forward was known for his athleticism, versatility, eye for a goal and courting some controversy. Geraghty sat down with us last week while he was in the Big Apple training the New York Colleges team who are travelling to Ireland next month to compete in the Mac Leinn Cup, which is Division 3 of the Irish Universities competition. Geraghty in fact won the same competition as manager of Blanchardstown IT in 2011. He joined us in the long haul to talk about the team's preparation ahead of the competition and his experience training a group of all-American born players. We also delve into a host of other New York GA issues and general football topics, while also looking back on Geraghty's hugely successful and illustrious career. Geraghty was joined by fellow Meath and Kentstown native Paddy Curtis, who is managing the New York Colleges team. Paddy is very familiar with the underage structure and development squads in New York and led Rangers to 4 titles last year, including an under-21 championship and the Junior B County. The New York Colleges team are looking for some local sponsors to help them cover the costs of the trip to Ireland, so anyone who's interested can contact Colette McGilligan. Her details are in the description below. Let us know what you think about this episode by leaving us a comment on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter at The Long Haul Podcast, or feel free to leave us a review. You can check out all of our previous podcasts on thelonghaulpodcast.com, where we also have a range of Irish American news and sports stories. We're on the shot there, aren't we?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Well, we've come a long way, Paddy, 2 boys from Kentstown.
Yeah.
Huh?
2 Kentstown lads now on the podcast.
And we've about 20 listeners, so this is big, lads.
It's going to wrap it now.
I might have 21 now.
Yeah,
Paddy's
10 of them are my family.
Thanks for coming, lads. Appreciate it. Welcome to the long haul.
Thanks for having
me. Very much.
Paddy, first of all, introduce yourself. You come from the same area, same club as Graham. Give us a little background on yourself and what you do here in New York.
Yeah, we're from the same town, Kentstown, same club, Blanchardstown, in County Meath. I'm here 9 years. I'm deeply involved in the GA, I guess. Currently managing the college team, New York College team that's going home in February. I guess my club here is Rangers, and I work as an electrician with Crana Electric.
Okay, and tell us what's happening with the college team. They're going back to play in Division 3 of the universities, is it?
Yeah, so we are in Division 3, which is the Mac Leinn Cup. We go home on the 15th of February. We play on the 18th and 19th. And basically, it's all the best kids from here that's in college representing the college team going home. It's a bit different at home. It's an actual college team.
Yeah.
We don't have the luxury of having the same as they have at home. So
is it hard to get fellas together? So where's the reach from?
When they're home for say Thanksgiving and they're home for Christmas, we have a big bunch. Like we've a roster of about 41, but we'll lose probably maybe 20 of them once the end of next week comes.
And naturally they're all American born, are they?
All American.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell us how you got in contact with Graham and what's he doing here for with the lads.
For this. Graham was coming out for Thanksgiving, so while he was here, I said I just chanced and asked him would he be interested in doing a training session with the lads, because when you're on holidays you don't want to be bothering the lads to go for something. So he says, geez, yeah, 100% will go down. So he came down anyway. I knew a lot of the lads wouldn't have a clue who he was, and they didn't have a clue. So they were like, is he famous?
They're probably born when you were lifting Sam in 99, I'd say, yeah.
Probably weren't born.
So they got on great with him. I really liked him. So then I was talking to the management and I says, geez, will I reach out to Graham and see will he come on board as the trainer? And we'll bring him back out in January. I'll fly him out. And he says, they were all like, yeah, geez, if he'd be interested, be 100%. So I rang him and I was like, come here, we'd really like to get you involved with the team. Would you be interested? And he was like, yeah, 100%, yeah. I says, right. I said, let's look at flights. We'll see if we can get you out. So we were trying to obviously do it when we'd have the maximum amount of kids here. So just after Christmas. So we booked it 6th to the 16th and
brilliant.
The Rockstar rocked up.
And he only flies private, I see there on the Instagram, Graham. So bit of a Ric Flair, like Jeff flying, wheeling, dealing.
We worked up the air miles.
So when did you come out last week, was it?
About 2 days ago.
2 days ago.
Thursday.
Yeah. And staying up with yourself.
Yeah, staying with me in Rockland.
And how have you been getting on with the lads? What's training been like and what's the...
It's been good now. Like a huge response, and I think because we're only here for probably 10 days, we're going to do a kind of intense kind of training. Yeah. So they're all buying into that. As Paddy says, back in November when I took the training session, it was really impressive what Paddy had to work with. And I've been working with Paddy the last couple of weeks. I know it's only been kind of on FaceTime and that stuff, but trying to put a plan together what we're going to do and how we're going to get them right for this competition. And they've worked really hard over the last couple of months, and I can see that, in the couple of sessions we've had so far. And I've been really impressed with the standard that's there. And I wouldn't have gotten involved if I didn't see that at the start. And Paddy knows these young lads the last number of years, so a lot of them were involved with that failed
team in 2017 when we won. We won Division 1. We were the first American team to win that.
Took them back to Ireland.
Ireland won failed in Division 1.
So it's a massive competition at home. Obviously, everyone knows that. I've been involved with that competition myself a few years ago, and I was managing Blanchardstown IT when we won it. So that's probably Paddy would kind of pull on that, as well, because it's to have the knowledge of what's going on at home. The guys really wouldn't realise here what's happening at college level, but we spoke to the lads the other day. It's a huge opportunity for young lads to get home, and I wouldn't have got involved. Paddy probably wouldn't have got involved if we didn't think that they'd have a right good chance of
some serious
lifting the silverware. So as I said, I was very impressed with what I've seen the first day I was there, so that's why I decided to come back and give them a handout. Yeah,
I've seen a couple of games, of course, last year when you led the lads to the Junior B title. It was made up of a lot of young fellas, plenty of talent there.
Some great players.
Yeah, a lot. I would say they're a bit raw naturally, and I think Graham, of course, would be a huge asset there.
A no-brainer to get Graham involved. And then the fact he'd won it himself, the same competition with Blanche, so he's been there and then went on to win the Trench Cup the year after, and get Blanche to a Sigerson Cup level was massive. So,
are there a couple of these lads on the New York panel, or how close are they?
I'd say I would imagine most of my lads will try out definitely for the juniors, and then you'll probably have another handful out of that will try out for the seniors. That would be well fit to try out for the seniors. Yeah,
of course, the juniors go back to Ireland this year to compete. So
in July,
So we're kind of just really building here, like Paddy, isn't it?
The quality of football in town is brilliant. And all American kids, which is even better again, because at least now you're seeing all the hard work that's been put in at underage the last 10 years.
Was it Barnabas the one a few years ago?
Senior. Won the last 2 years, a good friend of mine, Johnny McGeaney, he was over Barnabas, but he's progressed now to the New York seniors, and he'll do a great job.
Is it kind of interesting the way the COVID, just to go back to where the teams used to say, we all know, counties would pay lads to come out over the years and all. COVID shuts it down. Then the team came along, and Sligo were pretty much a lot.
Sligo,
lads, but a lot of the other clubs that would have been paying over the years.
Yeah.
So it's really paid benefit to the likes of Barnabas and to what you are doing now. It's one of the advantages of COVID.
It was the best thing because it cut off the influx of the candidate that's coming home. Now, little Johnny that wasn't getting a chance with the club has now got called up, and he's relishing it. It
was a huge boost when they won the first one 2 years ago. Barnabas, Jesus, it was brilliant. And it was just like restrictions were just leaving, and it was like everyone's first game back, and the whole Woodlawn was up there, and the lads had an opportunity. It was a great year to win it, and they're after they just took so much confidence from it.
We'd have a lot of the Barnabas kids right in with us right now, so it's brilliant from my angle because I would never get a chance to coach them, and now I am coaching them. So it's brilliant to see them in the flesh, if you know what I mean, training and how they put themselves to it, and There's some great lads there.
Well, we have to say that the lads are putting in huge efforts on there.
Yeah.
And I think some of that is probably because they want to go home as well to get a trip home.
Oh, huge.
But it's obviously to play in that competition at home is massive as well. And I suppose we have to, mention Joan Henchy as well. That's given us those players, instead of them hanging around with
we're lucky that the seniors are releasing the players to us to
Okay.
allow us to have them until I guess our competition is over, and then they'll have them back then for.
Yeah, the development squads have been a big bridge, hasn't it? There's lads there in 1920, they could go, they're so talented, they could play other sports, and just to hang on to them.
It's brilliant.
And give them that
and like you said, as much as COVID was such a dampener for everyone, in a way it kind of gave these young lads the break that they all wanted, and now they're relishing it.
But it will bring these players on as well, because they're going home playing against teams from Ireland. We'll bring them on.
And when we hand them back then to say Johnny and the boys, they're going to be further on anyway because of the fitness blocks they put in with us. They're going to be playing competition at home, so they'll come in probably better off than if they were just starting off with the boys now straight off.
Is there anything that's kind of stood out from you from this group of players, so what they're missing or what they might have that other players might not have at home, or what's the key ingredient that they?
I don't think so. I suppose the first night now they were a bit raw, and I suppose they hadn't been playing for a couple of months, but the work they put in the last couple of months is phenomenal. And I said that to Paddy, from the first night that I seen them to last Thursday gone, there's been a huge difference. And I suppose they're starting to gel as a team now because they're playing together. And that was probably the big thing, that they hadn't been playing together. And I suppose the same things at home with the college teams. They're from all over the country, so they have to adapt as well.
Yeah.
And probably the benefit that we have is that they're all back here in New York for, I suppose, the Christmas period. Where at home they're gone.
Yeah.
So they don't have that kind of group training session. So they'll be starting back fresh then again, probably at the end of January when they go back to college. So they don't have that, I suppose, 3 or 4 weeks that
they're all tied together.
That these lads have.
How do you tap in, Patrick, to the other cities in America? Like Charlotte are doing great things down there, Kevin, Devon, then you've Boston, Chicago and all. For you, how do you find some kids there that might be among them? Or is that an option for you? Or has to be come from New York?
It has to be from New York.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's pretty criteria.
No,
okay.
Once they're from New York and they're attending third level education college, they're good to go.
And you're obviously going to be there that weekend in February when they're brilliant.
Yeah. Graham will join up with us on the Wednesday.
Yeah. And you were telling me yesterday, Paddy, that of course, going back has its own expense bringing fellas back. And I know in previous years, fellas were kind of fundraising themselves, and you're trying to get some money together to take that pressure off lads for fundraising.
So we said this year we'd try and take the pressure off guys trying to sell tickets to buy their own flights home, and just have them solely focusing on training with us and kind of make it as much professional as we can. We've hot food after every training session. We have a physio every second night. We're just doing it as best we can, but obviously it's putting the strain then on us to try and get sponsorship in to take it off the kids. So we've been knocking on doors looking for
win a house in the Bronx. That's what everyone does at home. Just win a house in the Bronx.
We just can't get a house.
Bag is after selling all those tickets for Kerry.
It's the only way young.
That's how we got in.
I think the bag missed the trick there. Tralee beat him to the punch.
How much percentage did he give to the goatee?
Yeah. John's getting a box room out of every house. You can leave that in as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So you're looking is there a figure you're trying to raise? Name some of the companies that have already contributed to the fund.
Our main sponsor is going to be Cran Electric this year. Paul Moore, MRS, Paddy Mulville, ARA.
They'll be on the shirts, is it?
Yeah, they'll be on shirts, training tops, half zips, tracksuit bottoms, gear bags, Structure Toner, another big name in there, Crosswire, Metro Mechanical. That's just a few names we have in, but we have a lot of names that's going to put money into us.
And you're putting the shout out just to some other local businesses to get involved. Yeah,
if there's anyone out there that's interested in maybe just any donation at all that will help, that we can just play for the flights, hotels and buses and give the boys a bit of food. It's going to be a tight stay for us. We're landing on a Wednesday and we're back on the Sunday. The games are on the Saturday or the Friday and Saturday, and then we're back on the Sunday. Yeah,
now it's great to give it a bit of exposure, isn't it? Just to get
it's brilliant because some of these kids were never didn't make a failure, didn't make the New York 16s development. So it's our first trip to Ireland.
It's great.
So it's a big deal for them.
It's huge for American lads, isn't it? To just go home and
but
play.
Compete with Irish lads and beat them,
Yeah.
Are they all pretty much first generation? Like,
yeah,
really?
they're all
class.
Brilliant,
American
isn't it?
born is a
Brilliant.
huge thing.
Yeah,
as well,
yeah.
You know,
And
to
like
go
there's-
home and be competitive.
It's huge.
Which we think will be more than competitive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, their skill set is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I'm not just saying it because we're involved with them, but it really is. And like, you look at the Barnabas boys we have, or the Shannon Gales boys, or the Rockland lads, like they're all very good. Like, and,
Yeah, their fitness level is
Yeah.
ridiculous. When we were there at one of the games and seeing.
and
that stands
they're all
out.
physical lads as well.
Yeah.
Like they're not afraid to get
Yeah.
mix it up. You know.
I hate naming players, but is there any kind of standout 3 or 4 players that that would be ones to watch for the future that you've involved there?
There's a lot. There's boys with Barnabas there that Johnny would have won seniors last 2 years.
Okay.
The Brosnans or
Are the Matters involved as
the
well?
Matters.
Okay.
Yeah, the 3 of them. We have 3 of them involved.
Okay.
Thank God. You have the Rangers boys. that's
Johnny
there.
Price is
Senan Price
Senan
is
Price,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, he's a good footballer. He was outstanding in the Junior B final.
yeah.
He nearly bounced that in the Junior B final. We're getting a massive turnout from Rockland this year. So Seemly Rockland always had poor numbers for the college. This year we've had like 9 or 10 lads
very
down,
good,
which
yeah.
is huge.
Do you see a change in what we were talking about from a couple of years ago now as regards people not necessarily bringing lads? Like, I've no objection with it, lads coming out, but hopefully they start drawing off from these young fellas instead of.
I think the split season at home is going to
rectify that.
Yeah, it's going to rectify
Yeah.
that. Yeah, because when we'll be starting, they'll be having to go back to their clubs, whereas they would.
Yeah.
I just don't think it'll
Yeah.
work out for them anymore.
Graham, did you ever get any big offers back in the day? Were you always too busy?
I played here in '93.
Yeah.
Played for Meath Juniors.
All right.
So we were after winning the under-21 championship as well. Or maybe it was '94. We came out here for, I think, 6 weeks. I nearly wasn't gone home. But yeah, we ended up winning the junior championship. It was 5 off that under-21 squad that won the All-Ireland that year. So,
Great.
you know, I wouldn't say that now the standard wasn't too high. I think that
No,
time,
no.
but it is definitely improving off.
Because we had Larry Tompkins obviously on it, and Larry was arguably discovered in New York. Like, obviously Kildare knew who he was and everything.
Yeah.
But we were talking about there was so many other lads like Kevin Madden, a guy from Carlow who works here. Everyone used to go on about him. Aidan Wiseman and all these lads. Arguably Gaelic Park found, I think,
I love
if
these
the Larry
lads.
Tompkins would have been just stayed in New York, he would have
Yeah.
never been this Cork icon
Famous,
now.
yeah.
Because of like Gaelic Park coming over like that. It's an amazing
Yeah.
story. I think it's unreal. Like.
Unreal.
And there must be a lot of lads like him, you know?
Yeah.
Like even Shane Carty there. I think Shane's born here, like originally.
If you-
and he moved home. Like.
If you could sit down with that man and talk to him about how he started out, his dream to go and play county football or club football, and then his dream to go to Ireland and try and make a club team,
Yeah.
to getting on the county team,
Like Shane.
Shane, to
Yeah.
getting 4 or 5 All-Irelands.
It's an
3 or
amazing
4.
story.
It's absolutely mind-boggling.
really is,
And
like-
he's still only young. Like he's
Yeah,
26
he's
or
in
7.
Boston now. I think,
That's right,
I think he's back full time now.
Yeah. Oh, he is back full-time, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm friends with him. He was, because he's a Rangers club man as well.
Yeah.
So.
Like there's
Yeah.
more lads like that out there, and then
Yeah.
lads that were discovered like that. I say the Larry Tompkins story and stuff like that.
It's it's brilliant.
You were involved in New York a couple of years ago, weren't you? 2013, was it?
2013 with Ian Galvin from Kerry.
How much has the standard of football changed here in the last couple of years in terms of the American-born lads? And if you want to comment on like the club,
I'd
the club
say
scene.
the American-born lads we probably would have had only maybe Shane Hogan back then.
Oh yeah, okay.
Maybe that he was the only
Yeah.
lad that, and he was only kind of coming through then.
Yeah.
Shane's a fantastic footballer. Plays with Barnabas. Great kid off the field as well. Lovely kid. I guess if you kind of look at in that context, it was like 99% Irish lads that we were relying on, or county lads that was in town.
Yeah.
Get them to sign
But would
up.
have been like let's just say we're the group of the American kids sitting around, and it's coming up and coming to playing to New York. There must be a thing in there among there going, so what's the
waste
point in
my time.
bothering?
Yeah.
They're not going to
I
pick
feel
us.
like that was even
There has
happening
to be
with the
that
club
feeling
level.
there
Yeah.
now. Whereas
Yeah.
I view anything. One thing I took from that Barnabas Sligo game that day.
Yeah.
The Sligo team were even really happy for Barnabas,
Yeah.
genuinely, because they seen what it done. Because they were in the same boat. They were not paying big money for anyone
Yeah.
to come out. So the two teams that got to the final, it was actually great. That's why Michael says about that atmosphere that day.
Yeah.
I think everybody kind of felt, without naming
it
the
was-
other
yeah,
counties.
yeah, I know.
But the
It
other
was,
lads
it
were
was
like
just-
paying for this fella to come out, and which
Yeah.
you're delighted for the lads that come out here. Some of them had a great time and really took it serious.
Yeah.
But now at least the American kids are looking at it going, yeah, but there's an end game to this for us.
Well, there's an
You
end
know?
product now. Like
Yeah,
we're
there
getting-
really
we're
is.
getting our own lads playing, and it means now all the hard work of all underages. Now you'll see it at senior level, you know.
Yeah.
Do you play out here as well? Did you play?
I would have played at Donegal out here, yeah.
All right, okay. Did you win a few counties? So did you?
I was actually over them in 2015 and 2017 when
right.
we won 2 senior championships.
So that's how you work for Granite.
That's how I got the gate into Cran.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you even an electrician?
No.
Are you even
I
an
was a
electrician?
carpenter coming
Yeah,
over.
yeah. Keelan wouldn't mind.
No,
if you're a
no.
footballer, Keelan, just say, come on in, get you to word a couple of plugs. He'd be all right.
Just stand there, you'll be
Yeah,
grand.
Keelan wouldn't mind. He'd
Keep
be
that
happy.
hard out on you.
Keelan loves it. But in fairness, I don't want to brag on the other. The likes of Keelan and lads like that, it's great the money they've put into it because they're putting it in both sides of the Atlantic. They're not
Savage
just
money.
putting it in to win a championship here. They put a lot of money into Donegal, Keelan did, and a lot of the lads in Monaghan, the money they've raised over the last few years for Monaghan is just phenomenal. And
Yeah.
it's great to see, like Kerry
Keelan's
included.
even younger son, Tiernan. He's a fantastic footballer. Plays with Celtics.
Brilliant.
We had him with the U16s last year and fantastic footballer. So it's
Where have you been training the lads? Have you
Gaelic
been
Park.
up in Gaelic Park?
So we were meant to train there on Friday night. Last night, but because of the snow, we couldn't get out on the field because it wasn't cleared yet. So tonight we're going to the Dome. We're hoping to be in Rockland tomorrow, depending on the field and the snow. If not, we'll go for a run or something somewhere. And then, please God, if the field is cleared on Monday, we're in Gaelic Park.
Okay. And did you say there's a ballpark figure you're trying to get for that you're trying to raise?
I guess up around 40,000 once we can pay for flights and buses and all that.
Must be sitting up front, are they?
Yeah, they're going to sit.
They must be sitting up the front.
We're only going
Must
to
be
take
going
a
left, are they? It might be on your plane. It might be on your plane.
We're only going to
Geraghty
take
travels.
Yeah.
We're only going to take a small commission as well. She travels.
Get Faye Devlin or one of the lads to jump in there and take care of it.
Yeah, we'll get Euro taking us out the plane.
At least they can fly out of Westchester, save them going to Long Island. Graham, you work with kids at home, do you? Is that a big thing?
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
Social care worker at home.
Well, you can cut this out if you want, but I'm kind of fascinated. You can definitely genuinely cut this out if you want. I'm kind of fascinated. I'm after being at home there. And I was saying to Michael when I come back, just sort of drugs at home. Like, there's drugs here. There's drugs everywhere. Like, Michael's laughing because he probably can't cut this out. But I just see, cocaine is nearly socially acceptable. Like, there's a younger generation. Not all. Yeah. But I mean,
it's crazy.
My younger brother said to me, he said that he where there's lads that are doing cocaine that are nearly looking down on lads that smoke cigarettes. They'd be giving out about them smoking. Shimon there smokes. And they're openly about drugs.
Yeah, I think it's a huge problem at home now.
It is a huge problem.
It's everywhere, no matter I think no matter what town or village you live in, if you ask somebody, you could get your hands on it if you want it. But I suppose it's up to every individual as well what way they want to direct their life.
Do you find it a battle? I'm just saying, with GEA over the years, they were so much campaigning on not to drink. Whereas they were nearly arguably promoting binge drinking.
I haven't kind of found there's that much of a problem with lads that play football because they want to be involved. Yeah, they have to keep themselves fit and keep themselves right. And if they're playing at a higher level,
it's not.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but
it just seems to be a divide at home. It's either the younger lads now are so take care of themselves. Everyone's in the gym. They're full on. And I think it's great. You see them. They really, really take care of themselves. And then it's the opposite side. It's just they're nearly looking at you. They wouldn't be hiding it nearly in a toilet. And this is not just any area, as you say, Graham. It could be any town and any. They openly.
It's so open and brazen at home now.
It is.
It's kind of, it's
scary.
We're down probably the wrong path that way, but that's just the way it is, and we have to try and combat it whatever way we can.
And what's your own work? You work with troubled young adults?
To be probably 11-year-olds to 18, kids that are in care of the state or private homes. So it'd be slightly different than that. They all live in. So it's they be coming from troubled backgrounds, probably drug abuse and gambling and drinking and everything. So it's lads that have homes that fell apart really.
You've brought them to Crow Park a few times and stuff like that. Certain lads. It must be a great buzz for them to see the other side.
And I was telling Paddy the story.
Tomorrow.
Yes, in the morning. Meath were playing Tyrone in I think it was the last game before the quarterfinals, and I brought 4 or 5 of them up to Oma to watch the game, and we were just arriving when it was kick-off and it was lashing rain. We went to the stand and this guy says, "Stand is full, Graham." He says, "A few kids here with me." I says, "They wouldn't be able to stand out in the rain." He says, "All right, see what I can do." So he comes back and come on. So then we were sitting in the back row of the Tyrone dugout, and I said, "Oh Jesus, this is either going one way or whatever." So A couple of the guys I had with me were Down syndrome, and I was tipping
Colin
McShane in the back, and he's no, leave him alone. And he's tipping him. And he started pointing at me. You know, he played for Meath, he says. Called around and said, and he goes, that's Graham Geraghty.
That's brilliant.
It was, no, it was great fun then. The lads took it with, good heart. But, that's the way players are now at home. They give their time to also underprivileged kids as well, and kids that are finding life difficult too. And
social media played a big factor in that, I think, because you'd often hear like lads of your generation over the years saying, well, I didn't like that county, but now they're also third level education.
They're all friends.
They're all friends through Instagram. They know each other, and even if they don't like each other, they're good at playing the game. But that's a big plus of it. Like,
it's huge.
And they are so good with their time. Even when they come to New York here, I've seen every county. There's no one in particular. They're just so good with everybody, and they're not getting anything for it. Like, but they just put their time out there for it. It is great to see. Like.
Well, I suppose like they're giving enjoyment and they're getting that back in as well, So so when they come out here, they're treated like heroes, and it's nice to I suppose get that respect and then give it back as well. So it's I suppose no matter where inter-county players go around the world, they're going to be treated.
It's true.
Treated well anyway.
Is that when you went back to college? Did you go back to college after when you were in your late 30s? Did you go back to study to go down that avenue of helping kids?
Yeah, so it kind of happened by accident. I had pubs at home for years, and I suppose...
Do you want to work tonight? I need a bartender downstairs.
No, I have
Genuine.
He's coaching my team.
I couldn't afford it. You're paying it then.
But I was coaching
Blanchardstown and a pink snack.
I was coaching Blanchardstown, and we had won the Cork Mac Leinn Cup, and Ronan Caskin was kind of head of sports there, and he says, "Oh, would you not do a course here?" Like, so I didn't really kind of look at. So I ended up doing social and community development, and trained the team. Then the next year we won the Trench Cup, and I said, Jesus, I said, this is handy, So we were playing Segerson the following year, and I never played Segerson, so I was managing the team, so I was first on the team anyway. Picking the team around. So I played Segerson for 2 years.
I remember reading The Independent. I pulled up The Independent one day, and there was Europe in Croke Park doing a photo shoot for Sigerson. I was like, is that Geraghty?
I was trying to hold the belly in.
I was like,
will you take the photo quick?
I think I'm blue in the face here. Hurry up.
And how did you get on?
The first year, we ended up fighting relegation, but we stayed up. And I remember we were playing Athlone IT. It was down in Kinnegad, and we were trailing a couple of pints near the finish, and the high ball came in. I just stuck my hand up and ended up in the back of the net. And Gary Connaughton was in goals for Athlone, and he says, "Jesus, I thought I seen the last year." Well, we stayed up that year. I think the next year then we were fighting relegation again. So the college then decided to
drop themselves
down because, you were punching, I suppose, way above your weight, But it was enjoyable, though, We had a lot of good young lads in there that were, I suppose, willing to put the effort in, and they got the just rewards out of it. They won 2 championships in 2 years.
Are you training anyone at home? I know you got involved with me last year. Did you?
No, not at the minute. No, I'm too busy over here in New York.
I haven't tied up with everything. No,
I'm not training anybody at home. I saw my own little fella now when he's 6, so when he starts playing, I'll get involved again.
Tell me, you had a serious health issue last year. How are you doing?
Very good now, thank God. Yeah, so
that's good.
Everything is all clear, and just I suppose working to get back to full fitness. So
was it you had an aneurysm?
Aneurysm that burst. Yeah. So it was quite serious. Yeah. So I suppose I was lucky enough. I got the care I did when I did. So it could have worked out very differently.
And did you go back? Did you go back into the hospital then a couple of months later? Was it?
It was a totally separate issue. I gallbladder, so there's.
When the car starts to break down, everything goes down.
He's not servicing it.
No.
I know all about it.
might look good on the outside, but on the inside,
You're ratting
Yeah.
away.
A lot of rust.
You'd be great in the buy and sell, you would.
but,
One owner from you.
yeah, so I was in Navan Hospital, and they said, "Oh, you need to get your gallbladder." I said, "That's fine." And so I gave Jerry McEntee a ring, because Jerry does them in Navan Hospital. He said, "Oh, I'm tied up as well." He says, "I'm lying on my back in hospital too." He was after getting a knee transplant, so
Jeez.
he says, "We won't be doing that this side of Christmas, so we'll have to wait and get the MOT during the summer."
Yeah.
Jeez, yeah. What a difference a year makes, isn't it?
Did you find it mentally afterwards, if you don't mind? Because I had a pancreas issue. I was on an airplane once and it ruptured.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But a bit like your aneurysm thing, in the sense of, it just came out of left field as such. And I struggled for about a couple of years after that,
Mentally thinking.
but just even kind of saying, what happened? They're like, I got really bad anxiety. Not putting this on you. I hope you didn't get any of these things. But I couldn't. I struggled mentally. I started struggling on trains, planes, everything. Cool. And I couldn't put it down to what it was. But it was more when I started going doing acupuncture and different things like that. It was all going back to that as such. Because it's
So it was just a case
triggering
of,
your
bit of a
mind.
control freak in myself, and then this happened, and I didn't see how it happened, and I couldn't see how I got to that point, and it just played with me. But you didn't have you put it down to something that happened, as you should.
Like for the first couple of months, I really didn't leave the house. Like, no energy. I was tired the whole time, and I suppose I got very emotional then as well over everything. Like, and the ifs and buts. But
That's what I mean. That's exactly what happened to me.
Yeah,
exactly the same.
Kind of once I got over kind of that, I was fine. Like, I had a lot of good friends around me. Like my wife Amanda was, unbelievable. So like, and I'm still off work, so I've been given that kind of time to, I suppose, heal and
that's good.
Emotionally get ready to go back to work, because it's the work I do. It's not strenuous, but it's tough mentally, and so
like with a 6-year-old then, and 5-year, you're looking at him at the time then, and obviously you're starting to think the worst then.
Oh yeah.
What if this? What if that had happened? Like,
I remember kind of sitting home in the bed, kind of maybe a month or two afterwards, and like, what if he wasn't here? Like, what is he going to do, or the kid's going to do?
But again, it's not. If it was, say, something that you caused, then there'd be a guilt with it. But it's more, as you said, the emotional thing of it.
Yeah.
Like, you would have never been lying in that bed pre the aneurysm asking, what if I'm not here? Like,
I know, yeah, and it's scary that way when you look back.
Yeah.
I suppose now you kind of, I suppose you thank God how lucky you are, and that you got the care you did. So it's amazing really what they can do now. I suppose like a few years ago, if it went in for the same operation, just cut half your head off nearly just to get out.
Jeez.
The operation I had to come up through my groin.
That's right.
That way, so it was.
My fear is that just go and the wife would be still too young and she'll actually meet somebody. So I want to be at a certain age. Like.
You can box her off.
So I'm 45 now. I'm 45 and I have an 8-month-old.
Go away.
And I keep saying to him, I won't be at your 21st. Well, at least your ma will be too old to be with anyone as well. That's all I'm worried about. I'm not worried about anything else.
My wife was totally different. She was checking out the insurance policy.
Yeah. If she starts asking, I was looking at that insurance, but why were you looking at it?
Why were you bothered?
Oh, you weren't clearing out that press. No, but I was just thinking after what happened.
I came across it when I was looking for something.
Yeah. We might want to up that. Some other bollocks then spending your money. Fuck that.
Do you mind if we go back down a bit of a memory lane, if you don't mind? So, what kind of an upbringing did you have? What kind of an area did you come from? Like, is it?
What was it?
Yeah, a small village. Yeah.
Probably 600 people in our village at the time.
Yeah, I came from a council estate. Paddy was a bit posher. He lived up there.
Yeah, we were a half mile up the road. We were the posh kids.
Yeah. He even got his own cross named after him.
Yeah, the cross I live at is called Curtis's Cross.
Oh my God. You just named that yourselves? You do a Paul
I think after a while,
did that yourselves?
But I suppose all that was there was a church, a pub, and a shop.
Church, pub, and a shop, and the school.
That's all you needed.
And a soccer field.
That's all we needed.
That was it.
Was it all football like you played, or did you play different sports? Did you play hurling, football? Did you play?
No, there used to be a lot of controversy at the start with the Gaelic and the soccer. The soccer had put on trend the same night as the Gaelic because they were trying to get the boys to go to soccer again. But no, that was it, because the club we played for was probably nearly 8 miles down the road heading towards Slane. Maybe 10 miles down the road.
Well, when I was playing soccer, I'd be a year or two older than Paddy.
I'm not going to be 1 or 2.
It was the guys that were playing on the soccer team were probably 9% of the lads that were playing Gaelic football, so we were nearly all the one. With a couple of soccer guys thrown in then, but it was enjoyable. Like, and there were different seasons then, so you're able to play football and then go and play soccer then during the winter. It was, I suppose, it kept our fitness up as well. And
were you always talented underage, or did you come later on? Or
no, I was always talented. Paddy had to work on it. So.
Still working on it.
Still working on it.
I suppose, like,
Great head of hair, but
It's not mine.
I would have.
Joy's living in America.
Oh, I know. God bless him.
My parents would have been kind of sporty as well. My
Yeah.
father's family, particularly, I suppose. But so I would have always grown up initially doing athletics and then onto the football and played soccer then after that. But we were, I suppose, away every weekend doing something.
did you have much success underage with the club? And
We would have had a little bit, yeah. I suppose growing up, probably under like years ago, you started under 12. That was it. There was nothing before that. Now you've.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Jeez, I remember being 3 or 4 sitting Nemo on the street leagues.
Yeah.
Mad.
So
you had a beard then as well.
Yeah.
Just rubbing it in, saying, I remember sitting around with 4. He's like, all right. Looks like I'm a guest in your podcast. Let's put the boot in him.
Pat Mustard is the old fella.
That was not Georgie Borges.
Your trials are good at soccer as well, isn't it? As we call it over here. Did you go over to England and play?
yeah, I went to Arsenal.
Yeah,
there
to
for
Arsenal.
Just
That's always the famous story, yeah.
couple of weeks trial, all right. Yeah, Alex Ferguson was over looking at the '94 league final,
Yeah.
and I was playing wing back, and I scored 1-2, I think, for wing back. We were still.
Was that when you were the other fella? Who was your man who was on your team? He was telling you to hold back there or something, wasn't he? Told you not to shoot.
Oh yeah,
Told you just to pass or something, wasn't it?
God, that was Pat Reynolds. He was the selector,
Right, yeah.
and we had the meeting the night before, and he said, "Man, you're a great lad, getting up forward." He says, "Jeez, whatever you do, don't shoot." He says.
I love these lads.
And,
Don't grow.
Go.
Don't
then-
express yourself.
So that was the end of the.
Just get the
That
ball
was the
and
end
gave
of the
it
week.
off.
Everyone started laughing, and then it was right. Good luck. We'll see you tomorrow.
That was the end of that fella's career.
So it was really great inspiration for a young lad to start. his career.
We did the same in Nemo. Whenever I got the ball in Nemo, and if Paul Kerrigan ran off me, give it to Paul, give it to Paul, give it to Paul.
Yeah.
I remember we were playing the Bars a couple of years ago. It was about a draw in championship, and I think I came on and I got the ball, and Paul just ran by me. It was out now, like 35 yards. Give it to Paul, give it to Paul. I was like, fuck this.
Football. I'm going myself.
Outside the boot, and it went straight over. I was like,
Went to America the
Big car
next
crash if I had missed.
Went to America the next week.
Fucked me. Yeah.
Left on a high. Going to America.
Good luck.
Yeah, I lost the ball in the last couple of minutes as well, and Corkery and the boys were used to hair dryer treatments. Yeah, you would have played it against a lot of the lads. Of course, I was at the '99 All Ireland final when you won.
Yeah.
And it was a shame that poor
Captain.
Joe Kavanagh was on the losing side.
Somebody has to be on it.
Exactly.
We were on it 2 years later, so it evens itself out. I suppose.
That was one of the best goals. I know it's one of the.
It was a
I remember
super goal,
when
yeah.
I was there, the old man and the brother. He said, "This second one, it's one of the best goals I've ever seen in Grove Bar." I watched it again last night. Jesus, it was
Cracker.
Joe was a marvellous talent as well, unbelievably talented. But I suppose it's unfortunate for him that he was on the,
That's what you
the
care.
losing end of it. But I didn't really mind that week. But I suppose looking back on it, it was. But he had a great career as well. So
You were captain that year.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
great for your
Yeah.
family. And it
was
great.
fabulous, yeah. And I suppose that was the first year they had the presentation
field.
in the
middle.
At the centre
middle of the
field.
field, yeah. And it had, I suppose, ups and downs. Every player wants to lift the stand, but then it gives you the opportunity to go around the field. You see all
Everybody
your-
can see it, yeah.
Yeah, and you can
Because
see
you find the
your
stadium
friends.
empties out
Yeah,
sometimes
Mantis, yeah.
Yeah.
because of the way it is now. And then the fact you can't do a pitch invasion either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it does really empty out. So at least you got in the centre,
But
like
then you
Champions
had
League style.
Yeah, then you had all your I suppose friends and family and club mates that were left along the
Brilliant.
I suppose the pitch, so it was great. And even going back to Kenston,
The
that
scenes in
night
Kenston was just
unbelievable.
bananas.
Must have been, I'd
Bananas.
say, 15.
They were sitting on the
20,000
roof of the
people.
pub and everything,
Yeah.
pub with flags and everything. It was like God was coming back.
That's great memories for that
Yeah.
town,
That's
isn't it?
brilliant.
Oh,
yeah.
brilliant.
Great.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And I suppose that Colin Kye was on the team as well, so we had a couple of members from the local locality, so it was like great times.
Yeah.
How did they select the captain those years, Graham? Was it did the lads pick it or did the manager pick it?
No, the manager picked it. I suppose if the lads picked it, probably I'd never be captain.
Sure.
No, because for Cork for years it was the winner.
That's the way. Yeah, that's the way it was.
Same in Kerry.
Kerry still does that. Kerry still does it.
Yeah, because David Moran just lost out there with that losing that game there with Kieran's there recently.
Yeah.
But he's coming back anyway, I believe.
Oh yeah.
But like that would have been obviously a big pull for David, I'm sure. To get the captain.
Oh, it's huge.
It's a bit of a silly system, I think. Anyway,
I think it's an outdated system. Yeah,
it is.
I think the manager should have a say of who, or the manager should be able to say he wants Johnny as captain or Paddy as captain.
It's gone so nearly professional now, like that. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, I think because Derek Kavanagh would have got it for a couple of years for Cork, and then they brought it in, and Canty got it then for Cork. But Canty was a great leader as well, like for Cork. But we were kind of a bit. We wanted to have an emo man.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So, but it was great memories.
Yeah, I don't think nowadays it really matters.
The captain is who is the captain on the field.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
Yeah,
who's taking the mantle on the field.
I suppose you have huge leaders. Like when I was 99, when I was captain, we'd huge leaders round the field. Like we'd 15 captains nearly. Like I suppose like anybody could have. Like John McDermott, Trevor Giles, Darren Fay. Like
it nearly can be a distraction now, can't it? As in, like a lot of rumours say coming out of Dublin are that this captaincy thing last year was a distraction of who, James McCarthy got it first, and then whether any of it's true. But the fact that it's even a topic, as you say, is pointless.
Yeah.
It
shouldn't be an issue, really, I don't think.
I'm a United fan, and I arguably think that's why Peter Schmeichel left back in the day. Keane was out injured for the year. Schmeichel was captain. As soon as he came back, Ferguson gave it to Keane.
And
within 2 weeks, Schmeichel said he was leaving at the end of the year.
Yeah.
These are big egos, and especially Schmeichel. So it ends up becoming a nonsense sort of story thing for no reason.
I suppose, and it's a huge honour to be captain. And I was captain 99, we won, and then I said I should be captain next year again now because we won. And
you would assume
that was God. I said, what did I do wrong?
But you would be questioning. Say, did I do something wrong here?
Why am I not getting it anymore?
Did we not win nicely enough?
I suppose because you see in other countries, like you could be captain for 20 years.
Yeah, look at Michael Murphy in Donegal.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like he's 50, He's playing that long.
Right. But he's always looked 50.
Yeah.
Sure, Michael won't mind that. Like he
should get what Paddy got done.
He was definitely buying cans.
I'll send him on the card.
He was definitely buying cans for the lads before anybody. Go in there and get some straight cans there, will you?
I get $100 for every friend I can get to sign up.
Now you're starting to make me think Paddy actually has plugs over there. I'm trying to look and see.
Paddy plugs.
Got Wayne Rooney Paddy, if you did, it looks good.
Wait till Levi's hear this and train.
It looks good, Paddy.
Honestly, to be all looking at me going, he get his hair done. Paddy plugs.
Paddy plugs.
I'd say another 2 years I will. I have a lot of hairs in the shower and I hope it's coming off my legs.
Did it come naturally to you, Graham, or did you train hard? Did it come naturally, or did you work on a lot of skills?
I would have worked on a lot of stuff over the years. I suppose I would have got some of it naturally. As I said, my uncles and father were all very good footballers as well, and I grew up in that. But I suppose every evening when I came home from school, the bag was fucked in the door, and then
out the gap,
all out the back wall.
Yeah, so I lived in a 2-story house, and up it was a gable end or a end house in the estate. So every day you'd be throwing the ball up and catching it, letting on you were playing against Jack O'Shea and all these lads that were, I suppose my heroes at the time. And from that then I started playing with Meath under 14, so just got to grow off it really early, and so it's progressed from then. But I would have been playing with some super players, so that brings you on anyway, So it was there were good times then because Meath were going well in 87, 88. The interest was there. The first game I was at in Croke Park was the Centenary Cup final in 84. So Meath were having success, and there was a lot of buzz around the county. The semi-final in 86 with Kerry, won then in 87, 88, and then I was playing minor in 90. So the next progression then was to try and make it onto the senior team. I think anybody playing at any level in Meath want to play up the senior team because they were going well and they were all my idols. I just wanted to be in there.
Yeah.
And a very funny story. I was in the first night I was in training, I'm sitting in the dressing room and I put my boots on. I was minding my own business. I was looking down at my feet, and these 2 feet appeared in front of mine. Jesus, who's that? And I said, that's my seat. I looked up and Liam Harnan looking at me. All right, pick up my bag, just moved on. But that's the way it was then. And like,
could have picked an easier seat to be in.
Liam Harnan.
So they were hard. And like, I suppose, just touching on Sean Boylan a small bit, like he was probably way ahead of his time. We were, playing basketball in training, we were playing rugby in training and different things. One particular night we were playing rugby and, a little bit of a scrum. I came in behind it and next minute, I think it was Liam or could be Liam Hayes or someone of them just picked me up and threw me about.
Flung you out the way.
What are you doing in there? Like, I suppose like you were taking your life in your hands training with the Meath team that time because it was so physical compared to, I suppose, the way the game is played now. It's all, hand pass, quick passing and running really, So that time you could hit a fella and get away with it,
What were you like in the dressing room? Were you a talker or what was...
I would have been a little bit, yeah. I suppose, in training we can have the crack. I suppose when you go to the games then you have to, I suppose, prepare yourself and get yourself ready. Everybody has their own kind of thing. Like I used to sit in the front seat of the bus going to the games the whole time with Nigel Crawford and we wouldn't even speak a word going into the game. Darren Fay didn't speak to anybody, I think, for about 10 days before a game. But, I think Cormac Murphy used to rub putching all over his legs and he'd have miraculous medals tied on him everywhere, So everybody had their own kind of way of preparing for games, Trevor Joyce just cut the sleeves off his arms.
Revolutionary.
Would you get like everyone gets a bit nervous?
You'd be anxious, yeah. I think, if you weren't anxious or a bit nervous before a game, there'd be something wrong. No matter what level you're playing at, you want to play well, you want to win, and you don't want to let your teammates down. So, I think anybody that doesn't have it, there's something really wrong with them.
Did you ever lose your confidence?
Yes, we all do at some stage, yeah.
And how did you...
Particularly when you're being hammered. Like, one of the last games I played, we were playing against Limerick, and the bet is 21 points. And I said, what the hell am I doing here? Like, and when you get older, it's probably harder to motivate yourself to, when things were...
Yeah, it's the butterflies more so than you hear, like the famous golfers. I'm a big golf fan, but famous golfers say that. Jack Nicklaus says there's one day you're going to wake up and the butterflies just aren't there.
Yeah.
But you can't go find them.
No.
And that's why some lads later in their career torture themselves trying to recreate it.
Yeah.
But you can't be the butterflies that a young person has.
No,
and some lads have it till they're forever, but it's unlikely.
I played for 17 years with Meath and coming near the end, it was nearly getting a chore then, so it was it was time to move on then, and then I suppose we come back then 3 years later.
3 years later.
Yeah. But is that also the game changing a little bit as well? Because you hear a lot of lads of your generation saying, like, over analysing games, sitting down videos days in and days out.
Yeah.
Like, that be obviously, you're coming near the end of your career, so maybe it would have irritated you anyway.
Yeah, but we would have done that for...
You still done that?
Yeah, for years, and I suppose that's probably why we were so successful. Sean kind of went into the analysis, video analysis, and have like our meetings after training were probably longer than our training sessions, and we were there looking at it, we'd fallen asleep and saying, "Can we get the fuck over here?" But as I said, he done everything different. And 99, he said to me, he called me over, he said, "I want to do something different. I want to bring the lads away." And I said, "Yeah, great. Like, so might head down to Kerry or go somewhere. We're going to go to Holyhead." I was,
What the fuck is that?
all right, okay, yeah.
You definitely are doing something different.
And he said, right,
fucking booze
I'm
cruise.
going to say it to the lads now. He says, we'll meet up there at 4:30 in the morning. Right, grand. Get the ferry over. Met there at 4:30. I'd say I nearly crashed the car a few times because it was late getting up. Made the ferry anyway. We went over. I think before 1 o'clock we had 2 training sessions done, and we had a video analysis then in the afternoon. And myself and Trevor Joyce were sitting beside each other, and we just put our heads against each other and fell asleep. The video was going on, like, it didn't matter. Like, Sean mentioned a couple of years later, I had to laugh to myself, and Geraghty says, sleep, and we were supposed to be looking at the video. He says, but it wasn't about that. He says, it was about getting lads away, getting them together, and, building that kind of team bonding thing. And that's kind of really what we're trying to do with the young lads here, so it's...
Did the young lads know where Holyhead is? Are you planning on bringing them?
They will when we go home.
I'm just checking the camera here.
Do you know the way everyone used to copy? Everyone copies everyone every year now. I wonder after 99 that a few of the other counties, that's it. We're going to fucking Holyhead.
And we're going on the beer.
We're going to Holyhead at 4 in.
Because that's what Meath done.
I was like, is this punishment?
We go on the beer. In 91, the famous 4 in a row Meath in Dublin. After the third game, Sean Boylan brought them all to Scotland for a few days, and they went to piss the weekend, and they come back. And
the blowouts are probably better. Do you find today's game, like, obviously, I know I don't want to keep bragging on it, it's just like when you see the Paul Mannions and Jack McCaffrey, I know there's obviously a lot played that the two lads walked away.
Yeah.
Like Jack was always going to walk away, like in his profession, it's part of travelling. I think he plans on travelling this year as regards work. Because it's two high profile fellas of that. And then, thing about it. And I think the fact that Dublin didn't win one. Jesus, it's sport. Yeah. Everything comes to an end.
Yeah.
It's nearly extra pressure now piled on Desi because Paul Mannion won't come back.
Yeah. Who are you getting?
The younger generation, like
there has to be a serious amount of players in Dublin that don't even get a look in.
Totally.
Do you know that would probably walk onto any other county?
The problem I think in today's world, you can definitely cut this out. Lads listen to their missus too much. You know what I mean? She wants to go travelling. She wants to go here and there.
What do you mean we're going?
What do you mean we're going to Sydney for a year to see your brother? I have to play county.
Don't talk to me, Brian.
Well, we just spoke with this earlier, Paddy. I hadn't been on a summer holiday, I'd say, for 15 years because you had Meath were going well, and then the club I was playing were going well too. Yeah. So you couldn't head off anywhere. And I suppose over the last 7 or 8 years or 10 years, where I've been managing teams at home in Meath and Westmeath or whatever, to tell you the week before, I'm going to Australia for 6 months, or I'm going 2 weeks holidays. The championship's on, I won't be around.
What the hell are you training for?
What's the point, you know?
But then the sacrifice there that we could hit on there, like, is your wife had took them same hits for all them years.
15 years,
For them 15 years. At least you can look at it and say, well, it's for me. I'm not saying that's what it is. Something. But she takes the hit. They take the hit. Whereas I think in today's world, there's a little bit, the missus is like going, well, I need to get me Instagram photos of that fucking city. Yeah. So you're either coming with me. You're either coming
going on my own.
You're either coming with me.
You're talking about me now.
But genuinely, like you left, but like there is that, like the partners make serious sacrifices, don't they? At times they make some serious sacrifices, and a lot of the time it's last minute.
And I don't think a lot of the probably inter-county players wouldn't survive unless they had the support.
Totally.
Of, girlfriends or wives or boyfriends or whatever.
Yeah. Like when you see replays, when you've drawn games there over the years, if you had a holiday booked, say the week after with the wife, now let's say she's working, it's a lot easier for you to go back into work. I'm the county player and your man's swapping shifts around. I think the workmates don't even know. Like famously when Jack McCaffrey ran off against Kerry there a few years ago, and everyone was wondering why Jack went bolting off. I'm sure you won't mind me telling this story.
Friend of the pod.
He had 10 lads booked on his credit card to go to Prague the week after.
Yeah.
And it was all on his credit card. So he had to run off to cancel that type of thing. But like, can you imagine a fella going home today? Yeah, that's what I mean.
I don't think you mentioned that in the podcast.
Well, I did. It's out there. Like, you're like,
that's why he retired his pin and off.
I think Anthony. I remember listening to Anthony Daly once on a podcast saying that he was going to Ger, saying that he was going to Paris with the missus. And by the time he went to training that night, Jared already approved it. But by the end of this training night, it wasn't. And on the drive all the way home, he's like, how am I going to tell the missus now we're not going to Paris?
I remember playing against Kerry in the 93 on the 21 final. And I was going on holidays the following Saturday. And it was draw match coming up. Game was practically over. And I said to him, man, fuck's sake, I ain't supposed to go on holidays next week.
I'd rather lose at this stage.
Here's the ball. I remember the ball came to me and I said, fuck, I just went on a run about 30 yards and I got fouled probably about 50 yards out.
Great.
And Cathal Jordan got up there and he kicked a massive pint and we won the game. Right? Thanks.
Thanks for the fuck going over.
You see lads over celebrating today, you think they're gambling on the inside. Back then it was a holiday.
Yeah.
You saved me from a holiday.
I saw that fight last night and you were just bursting apart.
That's what it was, I think it was Mark and Billy O'Shea.
But there is that with the younger player today, and we're not knocking them because they want more from life.
Yeah.
But equally then you're in there, you're training, you're giving up all your personal time as well. And then it's nearly the point you're making, it's nearly like they don't mind saying to you, no, but I'm actually going on holidays. You wouldn't have dreamt of going in.
No.
It wouldn't have even entered your head. And even if there was stupidly a holiday book, you wouldn't have told Sean.
No.
But you just wouldn't have went on it.
I wouldn't have went on it.
No.
He'd say, fella, now. Oh, a big long story anyway. But I remember one time I was injured and Sean says to me, would you go to Lanzarote for a week? I said, for what? Like, just get out in the ocean, salty
Water.
the water, and it's good for the muscles. And
Exactly what you were thinking when he was saying it. Ocean, salty water.
Yeah.
So
and Hollyhead.
I didn't know. I didn't go anywhere.
Beach. We've been beach around up there.
You didn't go.
No, Enda McManus, I miraculously got. I probably was told I wasn't allowed to go anyway. But Enda McManus went, I think, a couple of weeks later. But Enda doesn't drink, so he would have been fine. You could send him anywhere.
Yeah.
But
Shanda might need a chaperone.
Yeah.
He might need someone with him.
to keep an eye on him,
Did you go away at all on kind of trips like that, like for training? I know
we did. We went to Portugal a couple of times. We went to Lanzarote for a week as well, training. Mad stuff. Like we were.
They don't do that anymore, I don't think, do they?
No, I think
For training camps?
Yeah.
But we were there a couple of days, and the girl friends were with us as well, and we were training away. And,
Wives at home. I like that. Fair play.
So we were training down the beach, and there was a huge kind of a cliff up, and the rollway, so everybody could kind of look down and see what we're doing. And load of, I suppose we were all foreigners, but other foreigners were there. Video cameraing what was going on, and Martin O'Connell was asking out, and he was red raw, right?
Classic Irish look.
Yeah.
Bondi Beach, January.
Factor 5.
So if you can picture this, like, so say myself and Martin were facing each other, and then you have to turn around sideways. So Sean said, all right, open your hands and start slapping him.
Oh, jeez.
Martin was like, he was like this.
He's red raw.
That's it. Anybody was looking at him, what the hell is that?
What thoughts are they?
Probably training for martial arts. It definitely wasn't for football. Like, if you've seen this. Oh.
That was a bit like similar to if anyone you're saying, if any other tourists or foreigners were looking. The hurling final was on here a few years ago, and obviously with the time zone, it's like 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
the place was wedged, lads, and I was standing at the stairs down there, and I spotted these. I assumed they were Spanish because they were good looking and they had a tan, so I assumed. But they came down.
They could have been from Kentstown.
Could have been. Still have them sunbeds there, lads. Yeah, the glow coming out of the local shop. But I could see the father. The father looked and stopped at the place. He probably thought, like, in his head, he's like, have I missed the La Liga or something? But he stuck his head in the door. And you just see everyone. The hurling was really at peak, like. And I could see him looking up at the TV with this mystery. And I just seen him going out to the wife and going, no idea. He just raised the hands like that, and he just shook his hands as if to say, the place is wedged, 10:30 in the morning. Yeah. And New York, so some of them are on the night before.
Yeah.
There's girls in Limerick jerseys, still bananas. And then he's looking at these lads with sticks baiting the head off each other. I wish I'd have recorded.
I really don't know what's going on.
And he just went to the wife, the hands in the air. No clue. And they just walked off down the road. It's brilliant.
Probably went to a good pub.
Yeah.
Boylan would have thrown something at left field constantly, would he? It was like that.
Yeah, it was ridiculous kind of comment that we were saying, like, what the hell are we doing this for? But it all kind of, I suppose, pans out at the end of the day. I remember training with it, was playing football with a tennis ball, like, and it was all probably like hand-eye coordination, different things. Or we used to do a lot of basketball during the winter down in Gormiston College, swimming.
The dunes in Beckstown.
Yeah, lads that couldn't swim.
Yeah.
We'd be swimming, like the pool in Gormiston, it was the deep, like it was 12 foot the deep end, and remember, like Tommy Dowd couldn't swim, or I wasn't a brilliant swimmer either, and you put these fancy jackets in, right, get in this get, lads, and you had to run, to stay up. If you stopped running, you were gone, like, But it was, then we started playing water polo, and you'd kill each other, drowning, and it was all good fun though.
Bettystown was tough training, was it?
Yeah, we used to train on the beach. We're not on the beach, up in the dunes.
In sand dunes.
Oh, yeah.
To be lads hiding, trying to.
Was the one with David Begg?
You see the heads popping up.
David Begg's first session, he was in over in the dunes, and he sprinted around the first or something, and he hid and let them all come round, and then he jumped back in with them.
He was
but
caught.
Boylan caught. Boylan caught.
You wouldn't catch him out too handy. But I remember we were training in Parton another night, and we were after being hammered in the league, I think the day before or whatever. So usually, training then was 3 or 4 laps warm up, a bit of stretching, and then get into, the games. And Sean stood the dugout and we were coming round, and usually if you were feeling good, you could be up the front and then you'd be slowing down and just wouldn't even look at. He was a disgust. Just the hand kept moving. Come round again, and we all look at him. No, the hand kept moving. I think we'd done about 30 laps at Park Cotton, and that was training. Right, lads, see you tomorrow night. And that was, I think, we done 7 nights in a row.
Go away.
He nearly killed us, and then I suppose up the ante after that. I suppose we didn't really want to be doing laps around that Park Talton.
He had a couple of potions and stuff, did he, for recovery? Did he?
He's a healer, like, is that?
He's
a healer.
Yeah. He'd something for everything, yeah.
Do with him here on a Monday morning some weeks.
Yeah. Now, he had kind of recovery energy drinks for us, and there'd be a bit of raspberry in it just to make it go down a little bit easier. But some of them now were, if you hadn't seriously wrong with you, he'd give you this stuff, and it was.
We used to get them at the club level as well. I remember they used to come over to training on a Tuesday night with a big box of all these bottles of potions.
But it was fantastic stuff. Like, no matter what was wrong with you, you went down and he'd know exactly. Probably better than any doctor. I had when I was young, I broke my leg when I was 9. So my left leg is a little bit shorter than the other one, and. It awful trouble with me back, and he says, "Stand over there." And he says, "I know exactly what's wrong with you." And he says, "I've sore back." Yeah, but you've one leg longer or shorter than the other, and obviously one's longer than the other.
Yeah, it's good.
And he said something happened. I said, "Broke it when I was 9." I said, "That's the problem." So I was kind of, my hips were offline. So
he could tell that just looking at you before even.
Wow. So, but no, like it, for what he's done for Meath football and football in general, he's it's
legend of the game.
And he was a hurling man, right?
Yeah.
His first session, he thought he was going to take over the Meath hurlers.
I think,
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't even know he had a hurling team.
He couldn't. No.
Barely have a football team.
Yeah.
Just listen, don't Meath women. Meath.
What a year they had!
Football.
Incredible,
Amazing.
Unbelievable. The whole story from winning the intermediate, coming straight into the senior championship, and
that was brilliant.
Toppling the Dubs in Crow Park.
But then things
Cork in the
2 goals in the last 45 seconds.
I actually was at home, and you'd nearly be ashamed to say I was looking at the game, and I fell asleep, and I woke up, and they were all celebrating. What happened?
You were like, how long was I asleep for?
They were 7 points behind. I said, what year is this?
Yeah. It's a great story, bro.
It's an unbelievable story.
Yeah.
And them things are great for every count. It doesn't matter what code or what side.
But it'll now boost all the younger girls that were now looking at these girls as idols going, they've won the Ireland, they're in Crow Park, and like look at what Cork ladies done, winning all the titles they did, and I'm sure it inspired many girls.
When you look at off-leave, the under-20s as well, it's amazing what it does, isn't
brilliant
it?
on cycles, because
huge.
Yeah.
And
winning breeds success.
I was at a friend of mine's daughter's party, and they ran out of wine, and the other mate said, "There's wine up my house." So he rang his daughter to bring it down, and Orla Ali is from our club. She was playing midfield, and she came down with her. And you want to see the kids at the party.
That's great.
Swear now,
it's where Graham Geraghty was.
She was a superstar.
say you were raging. Were you Jasser to leave?
Just get out, will you?
All right,
just
thanks.
Give it to me quick.
Close the door.
Because Gary,
that'll be all.
My mate Gary says to his daughter, she's 7, and Graham won in Ireland as well, and she looked at him. Sure, he's too old. But it was, it gave the county a huge lift, and I suppose
even the men's would it?
And I suppose it's the underdog again. It was fabulous.
How are you looking? How are you looking now at the men's senior team? What's the?
I still think we're a bit off the pace, really. But
it's tough when you.
It is,
Dublin, they're dominating, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's still a lot of good lads coming through, but
there is, yeah.
There definitely is.
We just need to get the right manager involved, I think, now.
Could we?
You have to cut that.
Did you all there? Exclusive here. Have you
from the streets of Cancer to the streets of New York?
Would you like to do it someday?
This not now. I don't think. No. I think it's
a massive commitment.
Yeah, it's a huge commitment.
Yeah.
So it's I went for the job a few years ago when Mick O'Dowd got it, but
didn't work out.
Didn't work out at that time. But I think where I am now, I think it's just a huge commitment to give, and at the minute.
Do you enjoy training? Do you enjoy doing the? Well, you'd be here otherwise.
Yeah, I do. And I've been away for a couple of years. I got involved in the 21s this year with Bernard Flynn, That didn't work out either. But that's a whole nother story. We can go into it if you want. I don't mind.
Yeah.
But
Well, you can tell us about the nightclub story with Bernard Flynn when you were underage. You can tell us that one if you want. I'm sure there's a few different versions, but you can tell us your version.
I tell one version, then he has another version.
Yeah.
But
Tell us your version.
yeah, so
He's probably going, fuck, how did he hear that?
so I was playing minor. They were playing Laois in the under or the senior, right? Obviously, and Flynn, he was involved with Mick Dempsey, I think, down in the Pedigree Corner, the pub down in Laois. So there was a scuffle with the two boys, and I think Dempsey gave him a box, or someone gave him a box anyway, and got sent off. So we met that night in the
Nightclub.
Yeah, in the Hippodrome, which is
the Hippodrome, yeah, Beachman
I think
Hotel.
It's about 20 years now, so that's how old we're getting. But I said, "Oh, just there's the senior lads over there. We go over." And so I was a few drinks on me anyway, and I said, "Oh well, Flynn, how's things?" I said, "Any black eyes after today?" And as soon as I said it, so what the fuck did you say that for? And so he nearly turned on me straight away. He thought he was going to kill me, so he was. I think Martin and Colin come over and said, "You better get out of here." And so I left anyway. And following week, I was in training with me. I said, "Oh, Jesus, what am I going to do now?" And none of them would talk to me. And I remember going to the Jacks, and I was standing there, and Colin O'Rourke puts up beside me. He goes, "How are you?" I said, "Well, now, if I'm with you, I need to go over and apologise to Flynn." I says, "I didn't know that wrong enough, apologise." And I didn't. And the whole thing kind of blew out of the water anyway. But I think the story he tells, he says that I went up and said whatever to him, "Do you know who I am?" and whatever. And
you won't lace my
I'd say that's probably
that's
the
a better story.
I like that.
I told me that he wasn't ASB boots, and probably like it was the truth anyway. But
Yeah.
you know, I think that's why he probably got offended. But no, that didn't happen anyway. But I don't think. But
Did you wear the Preds?
I did, yeah. I was actually probably one of the first players to wear them, because in '96 we had Martin O'Halloran, who was involved with Gaelic World magazine, so he was friendly with the guy who was running Adidas in Ireland, and says, "Will you wear these boots?" I said, "Yeah, no problem." And went up and looked and said, "Jesus, what the hell are these jokes?" And I remember going to play in the Leinster final. We had a brand new pair nearly every game. And they were nearly 2 sizes too big. So I said, "I'll wear them anyway." But we used to look after us fairly well. And then I think Sean Boylan then kind of got a bit of a huff over it, because we were being sponsored by Puma.
King.
Oh, yeah.
And he says, you can wear the Adidas boots if you want. He says, but just, black out the stripes at the side, and, you'll be out. So, we didn't anyway. We all kind of rebelled small. Myself from Brendan Riley then started wearing them, and Tommy Dare then after that. So, it was. That was the only perks we got: free gear and free boots. That was it. Now you're getting about 20 grand for it.
Honest to God.
Colin Corkery used to have some. He
started
custom
wearing
ones
them,
like Beckham. They cut hold your foot. And
No way.
I need the name on it.
Name
He won with the Fighting Irish sign on the side of a. When he was training us, he was putting out these ones that I'd never seen before. After he retired, he did like a 5-year contract, and he retired after like a year. So he'd a load of boots.
I had a pair of yellow ones. Remember the yellow ones I had? They didn't actually make them after that. They just kind of do a prototype. And I just used to give that away to young lads at home. And this guy, he was playing soccer with at boy, and he was out at my house one day. He said, "What are they?" I started I wore them a couple times. He said, "Do you want them?" "Oh, jeez, yeah." He was spared of it. It's only when you go, I suppose years on, then you look back and say, "I should have kept this, I should have kept that."
Kept something.
The Aussie rules, Graham. Did you? I know you got seriously injured one year, but it was kind of everything was kind of like you were kind of pushing the rules or whatever. Did you enjoy the kind of physicality of it?
I did, yeah. And I suppose it was 2006 that kind of really got real bad, and that's when it kind of, to put a halt to it for a couple of years. But I think I enjoyed the physicality. I think the players did as well, went overboard sometimes maybe. But at least like you knew what was coming, you were expecting it.
Yeah.
I think the crowd liked looking at it as well for the physicality, and I think when they went out with then the numbers dropped and the interest dropped. But it's a huge opportunity for any young lad that's playing in intercounty. That's kind of really what the only thing they got out of it was being able to, have a chance of playing for the country. And we managed to get to Australia a few times. Great times. When looking back, like we were privileged to play for Ireland and lucky, I suppose.
Was there, like, they were obviously like professional athletes? Did it strike you what kind of the physical shape they were?
Oh, they were like robots, really. Like, and I suppose we go around with little pot bellies on us, and they were like chiseled machines. And I think that kind of got to them a small bit as well, with these amateur players coming over and training a couple of times a week. Yeah, I think the trips I went on, we beat them over there. I suppose like the touring party probably always has the advantage where they're all together the whole time, and so they're training every single day. So it does have its advantages, but as I said, the physicality they brought, they're professional athletes. It's and they train probably every day as well. So it's and they're getting paid as well. So obviously when you're getting paid, you enjoy what you're doing as well. But I think the fact that we were underdogs and amateurs kind of gave us kind of that little impetus to say, listen, we're going to show these lads how to play.
Did you ever get asked over there for a trial or anything?
No, I went for trials in 1990 when I was minor. Myself and a guy called Scobie Martin. He lives in Chicago now. Played football and hurling out there as well. But we went for the under-19 league, and they picked a couple to go, and then the whole sponsorship fell apart over there, and the whole under-19 league kind of system fell away for a few years, so we didn't really get any opportunities after that. It probably would have been something that I would have enjoyed, whether it would have, worked out or not. I'd be kind of a bit of a home bird and enjoy kind of, living in Ireland. You said you wouldn't live there if you paid you now at this stage, But
I love the place, I swear to God.
Yeah. But I suppose even when I went over the trials in Arsenal, I was always mad to get back to play. To play Gaelic, so it's maybe the wrong decisions. Probably, could be married to Cheryl Cole now. Maybe
Cheryl looked out there, didn't she? Cheryl dodged the bullet.
Yeah. Do you think I know like COVID has stopped it and it hasn't been done in a couple of years. Is there a future for international rules, and does it really benefit the GA here?
I don't think it does. No, I think it's just kind of an
exhibition game and
a novelty game. Yeah. I think probably the Australian leagues probably get more out of it because you can see a lot more players going over there to play, and particularly like the women's as well. Like I think we have probably 15, 20 girls out there playing. Brilliant. So. It's a huge opportunity, so not everybody makes it. Young Nash from Navan, he's out there with Hawthorns, so and I remember someone was talking to him, he was out there the first week or two he was training, he says it nearly killed him, with the intensity and the stuff they had to do, it's just I know it's different than here, that you play. You could be playing for a whole game. Where they're on and off, and they're when they're on, they're flat out, and then they're off. Then 5 minutes later, it's slightly different. I think it probably would suit a lot of their players, but they're getting that breather and then they're back in again. But it does disrupt you. I wouldn't like to play that way. If you're playing well, and this means you're you're gone, and then back in. It kind of disrupts you a bit.
It even makes it hard to watch it. I lived there for a few years. And it's kind of hard to watch it even because you're like, even when you know the rules.
The game is scrappy, it's like the ball can go anywhere. It's like
I wasn't much
playing with an oval ball.
Did you enjoy playing on the edge, like?
I did, yeah. I think that's the way I always play, really. And gave it everything or nearly everything. Most times
I gave everyone everything as well.
But it's. Unless you go out there to give it everything, and like I always push the boundaries, I know that, and looking back, I'd probably be a bit vocal to referees, but I wouldn't change it you know, for the world, you know.
Do you think that's been taught out of the game at the moment? Because not too many characters stand out like that do. Whereas when you played, there was a lot. He's probably similar.
Yeah, and I think the way the game is coached now, it's there's no, like, I suppose then you had individuals, they're taking that kind of flair off players now. And I remember playing one time when Eamon Barry was the manager, and I don't give a shit whether he hates us or not. I told him himself anyway. And I remember Joe Sheridan was playing and Brian Farrell. And Brian Farrell was after having a shot from, probably just out on the wing now. And he told me, if you do that again, he said, I'll take you off. And the next ball, he took him off, had the same shot, took him off. Done something similar to Joe Sheridan. The two boys were sitting on the bench after 20 minutes of the game. And we were beaten by, I think, a point or two at the end of the game. Like, ridiculous stuff. Like, you don't, like, if Sean Boylan said to me before, I know Pat Reynolds told me not to shoot for it, but like some of the points that I scored in Croke Park are probably, like, a lot of them were flukes, but you were never told don't shoot. Like, you know, it's, you know, it's ridiculous taking the skill off the player, and it's been coached now.
Out of confidence.
Yeah, percentage.
You can see it even with Dublin as well. Some fabulous player, and say, like, probably that's why Mannion is kind of called today as well. He's not been given the opportunities to, and he's an unbelievable talent. Like, you know, so it's all hold the ball.
But is it nearly because of Dublin's success then that the likes of that, like that manager you mentioned doing it? It's copycat, like. You see someone else doing it now. I'm not obviously then.
Yeah.
But like they're able to beat you with that stick. Oh, well, this is what Dublin do.
And it's working for them.
Doesn't matter. They've different players, different thing. You're stopping people from playing football.
Then Dublin were beaten last year. Probably a lot of the Dublin fans would probably, you know, wouldn't begrudge anyone else winning. But
Tyrone maybe.
Yeah.
Anybody but go on.
Yeah.
Anybody but.
But the fact that it kind of gives other counties that they're beatable now, you know, so it's, you know, it's definitely going to give Meath some kind of impetus now. Whether they can get near them next year or not, I don't know. But
it is, because if Meath, look at the way Meath played in that second half.
Yeah, the second half, especially.
You know, and then they must kick themselves that they didn't probably be a more believe. I'm just from a sideline looking in. It nearly just looked the lack of belief. Oh, who's going to beat them?
Yeah.
But they were going to get beaten eventually. Like, so
they were so close.
They were right there. Yeah. And then as the year played out, that game was actually more important, closer than we actually probably thought. Because we see how they collapsed against Mayo.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they did against Meath. But the difference, the difference was Mayo kicked on and won. Meath easily could have done that.
Yeah, could have. Yeah, I think when Meath got so close, then they nearly panicked.
Which is understandable too. That's what great teams do. Their aura sometimes beat you. United did it all through the years. Like, you know, Fergie time, because the other team couldn't believe, shit, we're on the verge of beating them here.
Yeah, what are we going to do?
We're going to panic. But that takes a new, younger generation, as you say, coming through to believe it. They don't care about Stephen Clucks, and they don't know about that any different things. Like,
exactly.
I suppose, like, kind of going back in my own career as well, when I was come on the senior team first and looking at, you said, the Dublin players, and they would say, "Oh, you're marking that guy." I don't know who he is.
Yeah,
like, you know. So, but I ended up marking him for 3 years and got man of the match for 3 years. I met him then at another 14 girls game. Meath were playing Dublin, and my daughter was playing. I was marking him the time he was wing back. My daughter was playing wing forward, and his daughter was wing back. The two of us were standing there to match us. We couldn't say that.
Brilliant.
But I suppose looking back, and you know, it was great to look back at our own career and then see our kids then. I suppose follow through then as well. It was fantastic, but it's different times now, you know, and the game has changed so much, and it's not nice to look at sometimes, but I think we're kind of reverting back to playing a bit of football now rather than
it's more expansive football
game. You know,
are there any rule changes that you don't like and rule changes you'd like to see introduced?
I suppose like the chaplain changed the whole time. They're trying to improve it, but I'd like to kind of go back, kind of maybe 10 years gone, just leave it. Like the mark is, I don't like the mark really, you know.
I think like the mark in midfield, I think is a good.
Yeah, but you know the inside
forward,
mark,
man,
you know,
it's terrible.
It's ridiculous.
You know,
like, it's just like they were playing up there. When you're fella catches the ball and you're like, because the wing forwards are clued in there waiting for it, like, and then they're like in the middle, and you're like, what the fuck?
You know, even a good cornerback or a good fullback, you're taking all their talents away from them because, you know,
they don't get a chance.
Makes no sense.
Yeah. The easiest thing is getting the ball. You have to turn and try and get by a player, and you know, it's I don't like it. I think we just revert back to right midfield maybe, because when you get a ball, you come down and you have 10 lads around you.
Yeah.
But the inside one now.
There's so much going on as well now with the black cards, the sin bin, the referees have a lot to do right now, you know.
I think the black card has become a bit of a cop-out. Like, they're just giving, the rule is that you pull a fella deliberately to the ground. Then if you just tangle up with a fella, it's a black card, and you're like, oh.
But this thing, if you check a lad's run now as well, it's black. That's stupid.
Yeah. That's like part and parcel of the game, like, isn't it? That was like,
you behind a lad up 20 yards, right?
Boom. Nail him.
And then when you do, there's a big roar from the ground.
I told you I get you.
Graham, did it help that Patrick was calling from New York? You've obviously been coming here for years.
Yeah.
If you'd have been calling you and saying, yeah, I'm in Cleveland here with a college. Do you want to come over and help? Yeah, I'll give that a pass there. You know,
I'm down here in Meath Hill in the ass end of Meath. Are you coming down for a session?
You were here for the opening of the Rockland Park that time. Yeah, that was a great time. Rockland done some great work there. That weekend, the amount of players they brought out was just phenomenal.
They brought 50, Paddy, 50 ex-All-Stars over at Meath then as well.
Yeah.
But, you know, both hurling and football.
That was great.
And you know, it was great for, like myself as well, to meet the other players for a start, but then say hurlers that you would never kind of, you know, normally meet, you know. But like, I knew Mark Hummer from years ago, because he was out playing hurling in Chicago. I was playing football, and he was only under 21, I think, at the time in Kilkenny. He hadn't made his senior debut. But to see them lads progress to where they did after that,
and then meet up with them.
Yeah, and you know, the funny thing about it, he was playing midfield for that day, and he was the best player we had. So it just probably tell you what we were at a few days before that.
Because I remember Sean Og was over, was he? Was he playing? Was it for Cork? And I remember talking to him also, one of the masters, and Sean Og doesn't drink or anything.
Yeah.
And he said the smell of all the lads there. And he said you could just see Sean Og just standing there, and he's there with his water, and the lads are just dying to death. Like,
give me a drink of that water.
Because they got well taken care of that week anyway. It was a great week for his.
I remember Paul Rowley saying, "No, you can have a few drinks tonight, we'll go to the club. But the game Sunday, behave yourselves between now and Sunday." And we were like, what?
They should have had that game the minute he's landed.
Yeah. Would have got the most out of them.
Yeah. It's like when you go home to Ireland for a wedding. You're better off flying in the morning of the wedding. Because otherwise you're not making the wedding 2 days later.
Yeah, no,
it's so true. Yeah, Rockland's a fantastic setup up there.
Yeah, great. And Shannon Gales now are after opening their
own.
It's great to see, isn't it?
All these the college team out there a couple of weeks ago with Sean. Yeah, Sean had us out there. It's great to see. Yeah,
it is. Yeah,
we need to get one out.
You played out there, did you? With the it's great
college team. Yeah, we were out there on the new field. Yeah, it was brilliant.
I hope it lasts. Like it's dug up there. But it looks fantastic.
I'd say they'll mind it. I don't think they'll get too much traffic on it. But they have the two fields there, so they can train on the smaller field now, and I guess use the big one for home games. I'm sure they'll look for home games.
Yeah. We need a couple of pitches, don't we?
Yeah, it'd be brilliant, please God.
That's what we were going to mention about over raising money a few years ago for that time.
Oh yeah, that I met you in 2019 for you were over. You had the team Ashling. We've had Sandra on for the team Ashling here.
Yeah.
Your friend Cormac.
Yeah. So there was a fundraiser for that. But I think they raised 114,000.
Brilliant, isn't it? Wow.
Yeah,
in Cormac's name.
Yeah. So it was fabulous. Like, and you know, he was a great advocate for the Irish in New York and the Ashling Foundation. So it was, you know, it was emotional times as well. But it was, you know, looking back and you look at all the, you know, fantastic work that he's done over the years for you know, for the Irish and for the community and for the, you know, I suppose Rockland GA as well, and you know, so it's you know, he'd be missed around the place, but he leaves definitely legacy behind.
Yeah. So you've been over a good few times, have you?
Yeah. I like it over here.
I was going to say, did the wife text you there? So many times are we talking here now?
He's looking for a visa.
I was only here with you three.
Can we get?
You sound like the fella in Dublin when he's going through you again. Wrap it up.
Really appreciate you coming.
Thanks, boys.
Coming on.
Thanks a million for having us.
Thanks, lads.
To be here.
Thanks Club Orange. Thanks Club Orange. I was hoping for
food,
Guinness, but we got
Club
Orange.
Ireland.
And look, just put the word out there, looking for funds for
If there's any businesses out there that are interested in giving
that's a great cause.
A donation, it's a great cause. It's going to the kids, and it's helping, I guess, grow the game more here and keep them active and involved in it. Because we're at that age now with them where you can go A or B. They're 18, 19-year-olds, so it's great to keep them involved and keep them active, and it'll benefit us at club level and at county level.
It's huge for the county. Or the club, obviously, but the county, it's like just if you.
I think even colleges at home seeing, a New York college team coming over to play in, I suppose that Segerson weekend. It's fabulous. Like it's great to see it.
Yeah.
No, it is. So please God, now we'll have a good trip.
Future is bright, and
we'll
best
train hard for the next 10 days, and then we'll please God, we'll bring back the cup to him.
Yeah, well, I don't think it'd be. They want to try him, and be part of the lads. They're putting in a huge effort. So
we're getting great numbers.
And
like 28, 30.
You're doing Wednesday to Sunday. Is it a Saturday Saturday weekend event like the Sigerson?
Yeah, it's the Saturday. Sunday.
It's that weekend.
It's that same weekend.
Oh, same weekend.
Same weekend. Yeah.
All right, brilliant.
So, in Carlow IT.
Okay, perfect.
All right.
They'll probably be live streaming that, will they?
Yeah, it'll be on.
Link on the website.
Scraggs Alley that night for the lads. Down to the Deanery. It's a great town.
Oh, you New York girls, can you dance the polka?
And that's all for this week. Let us know what you think by leaving us a comment on Facebook, Instagram or Twitter at The Long Haul Podcast, or visit our website, thelonghaulpodcast.com. Thelonghaulpodcast.com is where you can check out all of our previous shows, and we also have a range of Irish American news and sports stories up on the site. Don't forget to leave us a review. This will ensure that we can get even more podcasts to you more often. Thanks for listening, and Slán go fóill.
Round to me away, you Santy, my dear Annie. Oh, you New York girls, can you dance the polka to me way, you Santy, my dear Annie. Oh, you New York girls, can you dance the polka?